So I'm so mindful that I'm going to get sick. I'll see my kids outside, just 1 inch is showing. I'm going to whack him on the back. He said, do you want to go to the hospital? You're going to get sick. Make sure you're zipped up. When I'm going, I make sure I have gloves, I have a hat on, I have everything is perfect. Why? Because I fear that if 1 inch of my body is going to show and it gets cold, or if it's raining, what's going to happen? Imagine it's raining, I don't have an umbrella, and the inside of my clothing gets wet, and I'm inside and the AC is on, or even if the heater is on, anything is on, I may get sick. So I'm so mindful of this. But when it comes to salah, sometimes we don't realize that a few minor things that we could work on, inshallah, but they have very detrimental effects. Just two things I want to talk about. One is, sometimes when we're wearing clothing, particularly in summer, we don't realize that our entire back is showing. Now, I'm praying my salah perfectly fine, but I'm going into sajda, and the person behind me is getting a glimpse, a sight of something that I don't want anyone to see. Now, when I'm going to my official job, imagine I'm going to see my boss, and I'm going to throw something in the trash. If my entire back is showing, how embarrassed will I be? And this is something we may think we're free from, but until we don't consciously think that I'm coming to the masjid and it's cold over there, whether it's summer or not, in my mind I tell myself it's cold, I need to cover every inch of my body, I may not realize this. And the reason this is important is because from the Sharia, the navel until the knees is considered the awrah. What does it mean? If this part is exposed on top of the navel, beneath the navel, on top of the knees, if it's exposed, a fourth of that area, then my salah is not even accepted. And sometimes I'm coming into salah, maybe I want to go play basketball, or maybe I have somewhere to go, so I have a short, t-shirt, and the moment I go into sajda, my entire back is showing. And part of my body is also showing. That's very embarrassing. So the one way I can improve this is very simple. Whether it's 110 degrees outside, let me tell myself, you know what? It's freezing in the masjid. It's very cold when I'm going to pray my salah. And if any part of my body is exposed, I don't want to get cold, so how can I cover it? There's no need that you have to dress like me. Nobody's saying that you have to wear a thobe, that's fine. But let's make sure that our awrah is covered and we're wearing presentable clothes. Best thing is wear like a longer shirt. Make sure the pants are a bit up. Make sure that I'm presentable. I look in the mirror. Sometimes we look in the mirror and we see, okay, you know what? I just ate. I have a mark over here. Let me check around. Is anything exposed? And this is something we may think is for granted. It applies to somebody else. It applies to all of us. It applies to all of us. Even myself, I have to be mindful that when I'm wearing this clothing, is it so thin that I have no shirt beneath, that when I'm going, I think I have a jubba on, so it's perfect. But then when I look into the light, I realize I have no shirt beneath and my navel is showing, my back is showing. So we should always just take one moment. As I'm going out, let me see if my awrah is covered. Let me see if my children, my family, whoever is going. And even for our sisters, sometimes they may not realize when they're wearing the hijab is perfectly fine, but the back is showing or the front is showing. And it's something that could be uncomfortable. So when we're going out, when we're praying salah, myself, my spouse, my children, just making sure that this concept of haya, this concept of concealment, that is the hallmark of Islam, is something I'm mindful of. And again, this is not to point fingers at anybody. This is my own thing that I need to work on. I need to be aware for myself, for my spouse, for my children, that we are presentable in light of the guidelines of Sharia for haya and awrah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us this understanding. May we always be mindful of our modesty and never allow shaitan to get the better of us. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.